double game week 25 has just finished, but it's time to move on to the biggest game week of the whole season. It is the big double game week 26. In this usual video, we'll get onto my team selection, my captaincy, my transfers, and if I'm playing my bench boost or triple captain. Let's get into it. So let's start off, as we always do, by looking at my game week 25 review. So my game week 25 transfers, I made one transfer and finally got rid of Brewster. Now Brewster has been dropped by Sheffield United. Not only is he not starting, but he's also not coming off the bench. So I had to sell him. With my chip strategy and everything being in play, I had to get rid of Brewster. Now in his place, for one free transfer, I bought Harry Kane. Now Harry Kane so nearly had a goal in this match, so nearly had an assist as well. What could have been, but I did bring him in thinking of the game week 26 double game week that he has. So it would have been nice if he'd have got something in game week 25 before everyone else brings him in, but 2-pointer and he's in my team ahead of game week 26. That's the important part. So let's have a quick look at what that meant for my team in game week 25. So we started off with Areola in goal. Now this was a really big 6-pointer for me because I decided to bench Martinez. A lot of people had the Aston Villa goalkeeper in goal, and with Areola outscoring him, that was really good to see. Next up in the defence, we've got Diaz, Cancelo and Luca Dean, all with clean sheets. Now, I started Dean just because I thought he might play in that wing-back role. They haven't been great defensively, Liverpool, so I thought there was a chance for an assist from Dean there. But he got a clean sheet against Liverpool, and both my Manchester City defenders did as well. So my defensive assets did absolutely great, averaging over 6 points each. Now, into my midfield, and things are slightly less good. Gundogan with a 3-pointer. Blank, Salah, blank and Son, blank. Son could have had something. Salah and Gundogan looked a little bit less at the races. Gundogan had chances. Good to see him back. But yeah, no returns from those three. The other two, Fernandes with a 12. Now, due to his ownership, this actually wasn't good for my rank, but still, he ticks along so nicely and was my vice captain. And then Lookman, a big differential for me, coming in with a goal and maximum bonus points, returning 11 points for me in game week 25. So yeah, really pleased with that. In the forward line, I had Kane, who I brought in, and Bamford, who I decided to captain in this double game week, who returned 16 points. Very pleased with that, but his ownership was so high, it didn't do too much for my rank. This did mean that I actually made the right transfer decisions and benching decisions. So benching Martinez and Watkins in that loss for Aston Villa meant that both these two players blanked. Kufal against Tottenham, and then Mitchell as well there. Now Mitchell is back in the Crystal Palace team, but again, I made the right decision to bench him. So what this meant for my team overall is I scored 73 points, moving my overall score up to 1,635. Now I started this game week off with a really nice green arrow, and then the Leeds guys came crashing down on me in that final match. I was up to about 20k overall, but with the returns for Rafinha and Dallas, it knocked me all the way back down to 45k. So that match gave me about a 20k red arrow, which is absolutely crazy. It gave me a game week rank of 1.4 million, which was about 500k. So it felt like the game weeks of what ifs. I got the good differential returns in Lookman, Dean and Areola, but the big hitters that I had like Kane and Son didn't return, and then those returns for Rafinha and Dallas just made it not quite as sweet as it was. But we keep moving. It's not a big red arrow, it's a pretty flat arrow, so let's keep moving and see what we can get in upcoming game weeks. So let's move on to my double game week 26 planning. So if you haven't seen, I won't dwell on this, but this Excel from Ben Kellerin, go and make sure you follow him over on Twitter. The link will be in the description down below. It has the game week 26 doubles, the 27 and then a few other potential ones in the upcoming game weeks. This is all explained in my game week 26 complete guide, the complete guide to a green arrow in game week 26. Make sure to go and watch that. It was out earlier in the week, so it will be up. So after this, make sure you go and have a look at that. But let's get on to my potential transfers for game week 26. So my potential transfers out, we start off with Mitchell. Now we did get back into the starting lineup for Palace, but they still don't look good defensively. He does have a double game week including Fulham at home, so I may decide to keep him, but it's not really a high ceiling. He doesn't play in game week 29. I don't really want him in my team anymore, so I'm potentially selling him. And the other one is Kufal. Now Koufal and West Ham have looked really good, but it's no double game week in game week 26 is the key thing for me. I'm looking to play my bench boost, and Koufal going away to Manchester City is just not a player I want to have as part of my bench boost. So Mitchell and Koufal are the two defenders I'm thinking of selling ahead of game week 26. In their place, the first player I'm looking at is El Mohammadi. Now, with the injury to Matty Cash at right back for Aston Villa, El Mohammadi at just 4.3 million seems to have taken that starting spot as his own. Now, he isn't that great defensively, which could mean that it hinders their defensive output. There might be less clean sheets, but at 4.3, I think he could be a great option. I also have Konsa. Now, the reason I might go for Konsa over El Mohammadi is Matty Cash may be back by game week 29, and game week 29 we know that Aston Villa play in that blank game week, and if Matty Cash is back, I will still want that Aston Villa defender to play, so I may go with the safer option in Konsa. Now, outside of Aston Villa, I'm also looking at Tete, who's at 4.3 defender at Fulham. Now, Fulham have looked better defensively recently, and at 4.3, he could be a great option. However, there is that rotation risk with those fullback at Fulham, so we'll have to wait and see if there's any news in the press conference about whether he'll get his starting spot back after being rested in game week 25. The final player I'm looking at is Luke Thomas of Leicester. Now, with the injury to James Justin, it seems like Luke Thomas may have found his feet in that Leicester lineup playing at left back, now that Pereira and Castagna are playing at right back and right mid between them. So at 4.2 million with a double game week against Arsenal as well as Burnley, Thomas could be a great option for this upcoming double game week. So what this means, just to summarise those, Mitchell and Koufal will probably both leave my team for two of the below. One Aston Villa defender to give me my third Aston Villa player, and then another defender in either Tete or Thomas would likely be the replacements for me. So with that all being said, let's have a look at how my team will line up for game week 26. So, game week 26, we start off with what transfers I think I'm going to make. So, I think currently that I'll transfer out Mitchell and Koufal, and I will do both and take a -4 going into game week 26. Currently in their place, I'm going to go with Konsa, who has that solidity of a starting spot every week that El Mohammadi doesn't, but then a bit of a rotation risk in Tete, who does have attacking threat that maybe Konsa doesn't. So one nailed player and one player who has that attacking threat that Tete can bring. So for anyone who hasn't watched any of my videos previously, I've been planning for the game week 26 bench boost for quite a few weeks, and I will be playing it this game week. So let's have a look at my bench boost team. So in goal, I will have Martinez and Areola, both with a double game week. Leeds at home, Leeds away, and Sheffield United in game week 26 for Martinez, and Areola having Crystal Palace and Tottenham. I'm hoping for maybe one clean sheet each and then some save points as well. Maybe 8 points each would be what I was hoping for from these two. Into the defence, the first one we have is Luca Dean, who has a really good double game week against Southampton and West Brom. If he continues to play left wing back or left mid, that could be a really good option for me and a big differential in game week 26. I also have double Manchester City defence in Diaz and Cancelo. Now, Diaz I expect to play both games, and there should be at least one clean sheet in there for Manchester City. However, Cancelo, there is that rotation risk now that the Champions League is restarting again. I probably only expect to get one match out of him, but I will continue to own him. I love having him. He could have got a goal in game week 25. I think he's just a great asset to own. Finally, in my defence, we have the two new signings in Konsa and Tete. Again, like the two goalkeepers, so I have two double ups in defence with Aston Villa and Fulham, hoping for one clean sheet from them each, and then maybe an attacking return from one of the two in game week 26. Into the midfield, we start with Son, who has that fantastic double game week of Burnley and Fulham. Two really good games for Tottenham in this double game week, so fingers crossed that Son can return to some of the form we saw from him at the start of the season. Next up, we have the two other big hitters in Salah and Bruno Fernandes. Both play Chelsea, but then Salah has Sheffield United, whereas Bruno has Crystal Palace. One difficult fixture for them both against Chelsea. Maybe that's my Chelsea bias, but then that really easy fixture for Sheffield United and Crystal Palace that hopefully they can get some returns in. Finally, in my midfield, we have Gundogan, who has West Ham and Wolves like my two Manchester City players, and Lookman. Now, Gundogan, again, there is that rotation risk now the Champions League is starting, but his ownership is so high, he offers such good value that I'm still happy to have him in my team. And Lookman has Crystal Palace and Tottenham again. He's looked really good. He's one of their main goal threats, so I'm hoping for maybe an attacking return in one of those two games for him. Up front, we start with Patrick Bamford, who is my only single game week player playing in double game week 26 as part of my bench boost. There's no way I'm selling him. I want him in game week 29. He's looked good recently. He got his goal in the double game week 25, so Patrick Bamford stays in my team. And the final two up, we have Watkins, who has Leeds and Sheffield United, and Kane, who has Burnley and Fulham. So that is my 15 players playing for me in double game week 26 as part of my bench boost. Now, everyone always says to me, you'd still need to know who would be on your bench to see how effective it is. So this would what be my bench would look like. So I'd have triple Fulham with Areola, Tete and Lookman, and then Bamford as my final bench player. In terms of my captaincy shout, so vice captain at the moment is on Bruno Fernandes, who has Chelsea and Crystal Palace in game week 26. I do really like Bruno as an option. I think that Crystal Palace away fixture for Bruno is the best fixture there is this game week, but it is Harry Kane that is getting my captaincy armband in game week 26. This is because he has two good matches. Now, Bruno has the chance potentially to be rested in one of the two, and if he's rested against Crystal Palace, then he's just got that Chelsea fixture. Whereas if Kane gets rested in one, he's still got a good fixture in that second game. Whereas if there's a bad form for Manchester United in one match, you still have that double opportunity. As is said around Twitter, give yourself the chance to get lucky, and I think Kane has a much higher ceiling in game week 26 than Bruno Fernandes. So that's all we've got time for in this game week 26 preview. I hope you found it useful. If you've got questions about your teams or anything else, drop them in the comments down below and I'll make sure to answer them ahead of the game week 26 deadline. But that's all we've got time for. There will be live streams before the deadline. Go and check out my game week 26 complete guide as well. But I will see you all next time.